Hello, wonderful art students. It's your art teacher, everyone's art teacher, Miss Freels, with another fun art lesson. Have you ever heard or listened to a story where it begins like this? Once upon a time, in a land far, far away. If you have, then it's probably a fairy tale. When I was a little kid, I loved fairy tales. Some of the more traditional fairy tales like Goldilocks and the Three Bears, Little Red Riding Hood, all of those stories were so magical and silly. For the next couple of weeks, we're going to dive into the world of fairy tales, and I'm excited. Welcome to week 27. Once upon a time, the elements of a fairy tale. Whee! This week, we're actually going to concentrate on just one element of a fairy tale called the setting. So first of all, we should probably know what the elements of a fairy tale even are before we even start thinking about the setting of our fairy tale. So let's get right to it. I have my chimes today because it's reminding me of a fairy tale. Once upon a time, first of all, what is a fairy tale? A fairy tale is a magical story for children like Cinderella or Rumpelstiltskin. If you read a story that begins once upon a time, chances are it's a fairy tale. Fairy tales are typically full of magic spells, princesses, talking animals, evil queens, witches, and goblins. Like all stories, fairy tales are meant to entertain, but that's not all. The main purpose is to give a moral in a way the audience will remember. They exist to teach a clear lesson. Here are some examples of classic fairy tales like The Little Mermaid, Pinocchio, The Three Little Pigs. What makes a fairy tale though? Well, there are three main story elements, just like most stories. There's the setting. Where does the story take place? The characters, who is in the story, and the plot. What is the story about? But a fairy tale usually begins with once upon a time and ends with and they lived happily ever after. Not always, though. A fairy tale usually has magic. It has mythical characters like talking animals, goblins, and princesses. A fairy tale has a good character or good characters and a bad character. A fairy tale usually has a woodland setting or like an old setting and sometimes castles. Today, we are just going to concentrate on one element, the setting. The setting is where your fairy tale takes place. Here are some examples. I am thinking about a castle as my setting. Castles are fun to create because there are so many possibilities. While I create my castle today, I will be thinking about my characters and the plot of my fairy tale. Here are some examples. You can use all kinds of materials to create your castle today. But I'm going to be using my whiteboard to come up with some castle ideas, and then I'm going to copy it onto my paper to add more details and color. I can also use construction paper to build my castle out of shapes. So first, I'm going to practice on my whiteboard, then I'm going to copy it onto paper so that I can add details with any kind of coloring materials I have at home. Yay! Today, I'm so excited to draw a castle. Like I said before, castles are super fun because there are so many possibilities. And really, making a castle is just about building up some shapes. So let's go ahead and get started. And a big shout out to Art Projects for Kids for creating a beautiful step-by-step how to draw a castle, which I am going to follow. So please feel free to follow along with me. I'm going to draw my whiteboard first, then draw on my paper and add some details. But anytime along the way, if you want to add your own details or you want to change anything up, of course, hello, we are our own artists. All right, let's get started. First, I'm going to draw a little hill for my castle to sit on. So just a gentle sloping line. That was easy peasy. And then I'm going to draw the middle of my castle. The middle of my castle is going to be in the middle of my whiteboard. And it's basically like kind of like a short rectangle, almost like a square. Just watch me first. Right in the middle here, about like so. Okay, not perfect, but we're just practicing on our whiteboard. After all, we can make changes as necessary when we copy it on paper. Okay, I'm going to add two towers right next to the main part of my castle. They're basically rectangles, but if you notice, watch me when I draw, they start a little bit wide at the bottom and then actually get a little bit skinnier at the top. So let's go ahead and create those first two basic shapes, the basic towers next to the middle part, and then I'll show you how to do the top, okay? So it's sort of like almost goes up at kind of an angle. You see that? So it's like a rectangle, but let me go ahead and draw it and then I'll show you what I mean. But it's a little bit wider at the bottom. So it's like wide and it kind of gets a little bit skinny. And then I want to make sure to cap it off with a horizontal line on the same level as this middle piece here. I'm going to do the same thing over here, okay? Symmetry, symmetrical. My castle's pretty symmetrical. So first I'm going to add, oh, I bumped into my camera there and made a little thing there. That's okay. Oh, I made it way too tall. Thank goodness I am using a whiteboard. So easy peasy to fix my mistakes. So let's just go ahead and set up the basic parts of our castle, and this is it. All right, and we're going to add the little part on top. Just watch me first. Two little diagonal lines, and then a horizontal line. Feel free to press pause if I'm going too fast. I know I do tend to go kind of fast in these videos, but it's because I don't want them to be too long. And kids, people, humans, we all kind of zone out if it's like too boring. Okay, I'm going to do three little tops to these brooks, these little towers. Just watch me, okay? They're little squares. Up, over, down, over, up, over, down, over, up, over, down. I'll repeat that same pattern on the other side. Up, over, down, over, up, over, down, over, up, over, down. So cute, right? All right, I'm going to keep going. I'm going to add some windows in my towers. There are going to be three of them. They're going to be the shape of a skinny rainbow and a flat bottom. And I'm going to do that 3 more times on each. All right, let's add some more details. My door is going to be a beautiful rounded wooden door. So it's also going to be the shape of a rainbow. Go ahead and watch me first. And then a few more details. I'm going to add a line on the inside following that exact first line like that. And then I'm going to add some vertical lines to show that the wood, and then these are probably some kind of stone built around it. Notice I'm just doing some little straight lines. They kind of just follow that little door there. I'm going to add 3 windows just like these right above my door. And I'm just going to keep adding some more details. So much fun. Now watch me as I create this path to the front door. It's going to be like the top of an S, a very curvy line from one side of the door. It's going to go around and down, and then from the other side of the door, going to follow that same line. Watch me first. Yay, so that's like a road or like a path leading up to the castle. Okay, what other kind of details can we add? Ooh, I'm gonna add 2 more towers in the background. So they're gonna follow the same kind of shape as these first towers, but only gonna see the top of them. And last but never least, I'm going to add some nature. I'm going to add some trees in the background. And then I am going to get a piece of paper and copy this on a piece of paper. Take a little bit more time with it and add some color. Yay! This is so much fun creating a setting for my fairy tale. I hope that you enjoyed learning about fairy tales, and I hope that you allow your imagination to take you to a far, far away place and have so much fun creating your setting for your fairy tale and also enjoying these other ideas about what you could do with your setting. All right, fantastic art students. Have so much fun. Thank you for joining me, and we will see you again next week for another magical art lesson. Bye, and may all live